have eyes up here, is when you post, your journals have to, I still don't see eyes, be posted in this order. Sales, purchases, general. Okay, so sales, purchases, general, and then we're going to go cash receipts and cash payments. We have 5 journals. Those journals need to be posted in that order. So you are going to have an assignment coming up in the near future, like next week, where it's going to tell you to go through and post. And it's not going to tell you which one to post in what order, and they're not going to be listed in your journals in the order that they're supposed to be. So you need to remember that. If you do it out of order, things will be on the wrong line. You may get the right number at the end, but they'll be in the wrong order within your ledger, and everything will be wrong. So, again, sales, purchases, general, receipts, and payments. Okay, so that's the order that you need to post your 5 journals. What we're going to be looking at today in 11-4 is going to be going through and posting our totals. Okay, now I gave you a little bit of a heads up on that yesterday for posting of totals. Remember, our totals are only going to be posted in which ledger? We have 3 ledgers: general, accounts receivable, and accounts payable. Where are we going to post our totals to? General. Think about it. There is not going to be a total that I'm going to post into my accounts receivable ledger for Devin Preby, right? There's no column total or column that actually says Devin Preby on it. Would you agree? So all totals will always be posted to your general ledger. We need to post them in the right order, though, of sales, purchases, general, receipts, payments. I'm going to say that over and over again because I need you to just remember them in that order. And it does tell you that specific information at the end of a section 11-4. So again, the concept of posting is not new. This is the 4th day we've done it this week, but we just need to make sure we look at our totals and how we post. So for example, in our purchases journal, we only have 1 column for numbers, but that 1 column affects 2 accounts. So we have to post that number into both accounts. And we need to make sure that we get our numbers listed correctly for posting. And when we post from a journal, top to bottom, left to right. Okay, so that's always the order that we're going to be doing it. So when you take a look at your column totals, always post your column totals left to right. Now, when we take a look at our general journal, do we total our general journal? There's not an example of one on there. What are our column headings for a general journal? Crickets. I hear crickets. You can look in your book. I'm going to wait until I get the answer. I'm not going to give it to you. General journal, column headings. And it's not up there for me to pull up. Journal, not ledger. I already tried to pull it up. It's not there because we only have sales, purchases, cash receipts, and cash payments journal up there. So your column headings for where you put your numbers on a general journal, what do they say on the top? That's it, right? Debit and credit. Is there a special column at all in their general journal? No, the whole purpose of a general journal is to use for something that we don't have any special columns for. So because the general journal does not have any special columns, are we going to post those totals anywhere? Think about in our journal that we use at the beginning of the year. You remember your general debit and credit columns? When we bought supplies on an account and we put it into supplies, and supplies we put in the general column, did we post that total ever? Same thing, we're not going to post any totals or anything like that from our general journal because we post them all individually. The tricky part is when we look at our cash receipts journal, When I look at my cash receipts journal, I posted this $254.40. Where did I post this to? It's really right above my head. Yeah, Alfred Lopez. I posted this $254.40 to my subsidiary ledger under Alfred Lopez. Would you agree? Do I need to go up further? Oh, over. Sorry. Would you agree? Now, I also need to post this total, though, but where is this total going? It's not going to Alfred Lopez. It's going to the controlling account, accounts receivable. So that's going to be a little bit different because no time before have we posted individually in one spot and also posted the total. So that gets a little bit different for us. So we're going to start with work together and on your own 11-4, and we're going to start, what journal do we do first? Sales. And notice, it's on the bottom. So they don't give them to you in the correct order. So I need to go through, and I'm posting my totals. So we're going to be doing a lot of math here. So I'm posting my totals left to right. So I have to post to my accounts receivable. So I have to find my accounts receivable. The date here is the 31st. My post reference is going to be S10, and I'm debiting accounts receivable $7,377.60. And then do the math, because you have a debit balance here in accounts receivable, and you add 7,337.60 to it. Now, Jordan, what's happening? You don't even have it open. When I go to put my account number back up here, I have account number 1130. The last step I'm posting is always taking this account number and putting it where we got the total. I cannot put 1,130 there. Why? It would look like it's a transaction. So when we post our totals, we have to put our account numbers in parentheses. So that makes it not look like an amount, but hey, I did posting. So that's why when you post your totals, you always use parentheses so it doesn't look like a value. It looks like, hey, I'm posting. My next column in my sales journal is my sales credit column. So I have to open my account sales. The date is the 31st. Post reference is S10. Sales is being credited $6,960. It previously has a credit balance of $233,335. So I add those two numbers together. The last step I do is always take that account number, put it back up top using parentheses to indicate, hey, I just posted. The last column I do in my sales journal is going to be my sales tax payable column. So I open up my sales tax payable column, and sales tax payable is a liability. Liabilities have a credit normal balance. So the day is the 31st, and I'm crediting sales tax payable $417.60. It has a credit normal balance right now of $1,406.88. So I have to add those two together. Because remember, two credits, you add two debits, you add a debit and a credit. You subtract, and the balance is going to be whatever is bigger. So that's posting your sales journal totals. Relatively easy. Which journal comes after sales? Purchases. Now, purchases is a little funky in Applia when we post totals. I will give you that as a heads up. So, purchases, again, has 2 column numbers, or 1 column with 2 accounts on the top of it. So which one do you think we should post first, purchases or accounts payable? Purchases, because that's the one that's on top, and that's generally the rule. So I'm going to open up my account purchases. Purchases is a cost account that has a debit normal balance. The date is the 31st. Source document is P10, P standing for purchases, 10 standing for page 10. And purchases being debited for $11,818.40. And again, remember the account purchases is used to keep track of anytime we buy a product that we're going to turn around and sell. So it previously had a balance of $106,559.60. I'm adding to it the $11,818.40. So if I did my math correctly, got $118,000. I can read my numbers, 378. Did I do my math right on that one? Now, please note that Applia has one spot right here that we can enter in a post reference number, but in fact we have to post twice. Would you agree? Because what's the other account I need to post to? Accounts payable. So what I am going to need to do is I have to put a parenthesis, put in my first account number, and then I do a slash, and then I enter in my second account number. But Applia doesn't let me to do one without doing both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and enter it in, but I need you to know that in reality I would not do that. Oh, it has 2 of them next to each other. Okay. It has both of them in parentheses, but you will notice when you put one in, it puts the other. That just says, hey, don't forget, accounts payable, let's go do that. The date is the 31st, P10, and we are crediting accounts payable, $11,818.40. Previously had a balance of $4,936.80. Add those 2 numbers together. And because when I posted previously, it automatically has my account number 2,110 back up there. So we just posted our purchases total. So again, journal order is sales, purchases, general, receipts, and payments. So the next one we need to go to would be general, but we don't post any totals from general. And we already posted individually yesterday from our general journal, so we are going to skip then to go to our cash receipts journal. Please note, in our cash receipts journal, the other thing I don't like is right here under general debit and general credit, there is no total there, but we don't want it to look like we skipped it. So normally what would we do? When we fill something in so it looks like we don't skip it, put a check mark. And anytime we do anything below our totals, we always put it in parentheses. Okay, so normally I would tell you to put a check mark there so you show people that, hey, I know this doesn't get posted, I didn't skip it. But I don't like that Applia doesn't have us doing that. So we're going to jump over here, and I need to post these totals from left to right. Does that make sense? So the first one I have is accounts receivable. Now, can I have eyes up here just for a moment? The first journal we posted from was what? Sales. Sales has accounts receivable in it, would you agree? And it was accounts receivable as a debit, right? And I have it right here, sales journal as a debit. If I posted my cash receipts journal first, what would happen? I would have a credit balance. Do you see that? Because look at that total right there, $6,000. We don't want accounts receivable to have a negative balance. Basically, what we would be entering in here is the fact that we received payment before we said they actually owed us. That's another reason why it's very important that we post in the correct order. So sales always has to go before cash receipts. Purchases always has to go before cash payments. So we always do that in that order. We do sales, purchases, general, receipts, and then payments. Because a lot of things that happen in the general journal that don't get posted as a total affect our cash receipts and our cash payments journal. So posting the total, again, isn't different, but I want you to realize what would have happened if we posted our journal in the wrong order. It would have given us, for a moment, a credit balance for accounts receivable. And that wouldn't look very good in our books that we would owe our customers several $1,000s. Would you agree? So we need to make sure we post it in the right order. So let's get that $6,000 posted correctly. Date is the 31st. Post reference is going to be CR12, Cash Receipts Journal, page 12, and I'm going to credit it for $6,360. And again, I have a debit balance and crediting, so I have to do subtract. After we post to accounts receivable, my next column that I'm going to post to is going to be sales. Sales is a revenue account. Revenue accounts have a credit normal balance. The date is the 31st. Post reference is going to be CR12. Sales is being credited $18,320. Already has a credit balance. I'm going to add those two numbers together, $240,295 plus the $18,320. When I do the math, I got $258,615. Last step is always taking that account number and putting it back in your journal to show you posted it. You never, ever go through and just fill in all your post reference at once and then go through and post it. That is incorrect. That is the best way to make a mistake and things not come out. You want to post individually going back and forth. After sales, you will do sales tax payable. Sales tax payable is a liability account, has a credit balance as well. So we are going to credit sales tax $1,099.20. Already has a credit balance. We're going to add those two together. Sales discount is my next account. Sales discount is a contra account to our account sales. Sales has a credit normal balance, so because this is a contra account, it would need to have a debit balance. Sales discount is being debited $31.40. Previously had a balance, so I need to add those two numbers together. Now, what I get from this account is I can see that our business gave a total discount to all of our customers for paying early. The value to our business was $2,229.40. Because we keep track of that separate, that's a good number for us. We have customers that are paying us within 10 days, so therefore we get immediate cash flow for our business, so we don't have to worry about running short on paying our bills. It's a win-win for our customers and for us. The last thing that we're going to post to is going to be our cash account. Date's the 31st, CR12, debit it to $25,747, add the two together. I got $41,212.78. Anyone agree with my number? How about you, Devin? Did I do it right this time? You think so? See, now I got a different number. Now I got 38,983.38. Okay. See, look at, I do make mistakes. And one of the things you're going to find is because we do so much math on these postings, it's really easy to make that type of mistake. I actually didn't do it on purpose. Sometimes I do make math mistakes, if you guys are paying attention. But when would we figure out that there was a mistake here? Yes. How do we know whether or not after we posted things equal? We prepare something called a close. Take off post-closing. Trial balance. Yeah, on our worksheet, the very first column on our worksheet is a trial balance. Okay? Doing okay? Cody?
Yeah.
Are you doing this with me? A trial balance is always the opportunity for us to check to see if we have posted correctly. If we've made a mistake, it's going to show up in the trial balance. And it can be very frustrating to go back and find things. So one of the things I would suggest, right now we're all working together so we can say, hey, do you agree with this number, do you not agree? But if you're doing it on your own, one of the things I would do is I would actually add those numbers together twice, because if you get the same thing twice, what's the odds? Then it's right. But otherwise, if you don't do that, you get to the trial balance and things don't come out. That's when you can spend easily an hour trying to find and fix that mistake. So taking an extra moment here while you're doing it will save you hours of work later. The last one we're doing is going to be our cash payments journal. Cody, I do expect you to have this done, okay? Now the cash payments journal, notice that the cash payments journal does have some numbers here in general debit and credit. So, do we post this $11,671.38 anywhere? Because we don't have an account called general. So I'm going to put right here that check mark I talked about before. Because we don't want it to look like we skipped it, so we just put a check mark to say, hey, I got this, I know where it goes. And then I only have 3 more numbers to post. That's going to be accounts payable as a debit. Now, accounts payable has a credit balance, so I'm going to need to go through and subtract right now. See if I can do my math better here. $8,099.20. Then we need to do purchases discounts. Except I just opened up the wrong journal. Purchases discount is a cost account, or purchases is a cost account. Purchases discount is a contra account to our cost account. Cost accounts have a debit balance, so purchases discount will have a credit balance. I'm going to add those 2 numbers together. And that tells me through October 31st, we have taken care of discounts or have used discounts for a total of $1,387.33. That is the total amount we have saved our business by paying within a discount period. So a business could have a goal of always trying to make sure they have a certain value there. But it always depends on our individual vendors we'll deal with. Not all vendors give us a discount, but if we have them, we could try to set a goal of always trying to use them, if it works. And then the last one we'll do is cash. Are you noticing there's a lot more totals to post? Because we have more journals? Good Lord. Struggling typing in my numbers. See, look at that, 16. Cash has a debit normal balance because it is an asset. It is something that we own that has value. How'd I do on that? Okay, thank you. Let's see. Oh, Shazam! I did well. I was waiting for me to miss something and put a wrong sense like I did yesterday. Okay, 11.5. Imagine this. This has happened to me before. For example, I go through to request a student for ELT. I want to request Jordan. What problem could I have if I try to request Jordan? Nope, think beyond that. Last semester you were. Nope. I also have Jordan.
Oh, you used the wrong one?
Right, correct? And Marcus, I do that to Marcus Rankus and Marcus Cornelius. Why? They have a completely different name, but I see Marcus and I think the wrong one. Okay, could I have two customers that are named Marcus or two customers that are named Jordan?
Yeah.
Yes. So what's going to happen is sometimes when we go through and journalize things, I might actually put down Marcus Cornelius when I meant to do Marcus Rankus, or Jordan Van den Heuvel when I meant the other Jordan Van den Heuvel. You would agree, I've done that. I tried really hard not to. I think I only did it once between the Jordans. But I've done it lots to Marcus. I don't know why I do that. But so what we're looking at in 11.5 is truly, what do you do if you put it in the wrong subsidiary ledger account and you need to move it to another one? That's the concept of what 11.5 is. So think about it. If I put it into Marcus Cornelius and I need to get it to Marcus Rankus, how would I journalize that transaction? It doesn't need to be in Cornelius, so how do I get it out of his? He's a customer, so I need to credit Cornelius and I need to debit Rankus. Would you agree? So what we have to look at, and it gets confusing in our directions because you have to figure out which account do I have to take it out of and which account do I need to put it into. Okay? But where would we journalize that? I'll give you a hint. It's on the screen. General journal. Because am I using any special columns? No. Now, my other question is, I'm affecting Marcus Rankus and Marcus Cornelius. Do I have to do anything to my controlling account, accounts receivable? Because does it change the value of accounts receivable? I just got to switch between my two customers. So this is going to be an oddball type of transaction where I'm going to be using a subsidiary ledger account, but I'm not going to write / accounts receivable. Because if I did it, I would have to do accounts receivable / Marcus Rankus, accounts receivable / Marcus Cornelius, but overall, would I change the total value of accounts receivable? I would be debiting it and crediting it the same amount. Would you agree? So I don't need to. Question? So with that in mind, let's look at our directions. And sometimes I think the hardest part about this is figuring out who is affected how. So we've figured out on June 3rd that a sale on account to Howell Clinic was incorrectly charged to Housley Dance Studio. So which one was affected that should not have been? Housley. So Housley needs to be credited, and which account needs to be debited? Howell. So we're going to journalize that transaction on the date of June 3rd. So I'm going to debit Howell Clinic, source document M57, for $414.99. I'm going to credit Housley. And now notice, this didn't get caught. It happened in May, but it didn't get caught until June. We don't want to go back and erase and change totals from a previous month. So we're always going to do a correcting entry, not to go back and erase. Okay, so now we need to post. So I'm going to post to Howell Clinic. The date is going to be June 3rd. Post reference is going to be G6. Then I'm going to do the same thing for Housley. And remember, what do we do when there is no balance? 0. That is section 11.5. Do you see why I did them both on the same day? I would like you to try to